I think it's really telling that, and it's sort of it's building on Warren's point, that we are always talking about inflation threats when you've got maybe, I'm not sure in America, it's about 17.2% currently, you use 6 measures. In Australia it's 13.2%. In some countries, in Spain, it's at least 30% once you add in underemployment of your labour resources unemployed. And we're worried about inflation. I mean, one of the greatest successes of the neoliberal period has been able to convince us, and it relates to, Marshall said that, you know, the risks are just asymmetric. Well, so are the costs. The costs of unemployment dwarf any other economic costs you can possibly identify. And this goes back to a famous interchange between the American economists Arnold Harberger and Arthur Oken. And I think it was Tobin who said it, yes? How many Harberger triangles can you fit into one Oken gap? And for non-economists, the Harberger triangles were these measures of inefficiencies, microeconomic inefficiencies of the sort that you might get with some inflation. And the Oken gap was the lost output from having unemployment above full employment. And the answer to the question, how many of these microeconomic inefficiency measures can you fit into one macroeconomic inefficiency measure? The answer is lots. And the point about it is that the macro costs of unemployment and lost income and then all of the related social pathologies and intergenerational pathologies that follow are massive. And you're sitting here in this country and my country and other countries idly sitting by, wasting forever billions of dollars of income generation every day. And the only thing you can come up with is worrying about inflation. Even if inflation was a risk, I wouldn't worry about it right now, because the relative costs are just not even commensurate. And that's the big success of the neoliberal era, to get us to disabuse us of the notion that unemployment is a cost and unemployment should be a policy target. We now, under our central banking inflation targeting and inflation first type policy emphasis, we now use unemployment as a policy tool. We're now using the most costly pathology of market-based economies as a tool to discipline something that is nowhere near the scale of cost. And that's the success of the neoliberal era. And it's a damn shame.
You're giving our presentation.
Sorry.
Fair to say that the lost output for the last 2 years is more than the cost of every war countries ever fought.
Yeah, the massive. Every day.
Hear me? Testing.
It's probably fair to say that the losses from unemployment over the last 2 years, just in terms of lost output, are far higher than all the costs of all the wars the U.S. has ever fought in its history combined. Seriously. Well, that's just gone forever. You know, plus the ongoing losses, because it's all path dependent. Once you change your path, you've lost it. You know, the growth rates have to be much higher to get back onto path.
Yeah, millions and millions of dollars a day, every day our countries are foregoing. Millions of dollars a day. Inflation will never go anywhere near that.
Well, if we have 20% unemployment, I know not everybody's equally valuable, but it wouldn't surprise me if the losses are 20% of GDP every year, or something close to it. Yeah.
Maybe that's the graph we need.
Yeah. Well, the output gap. So what they do is when they compute the output gap is they assume some minimum level of unemployment for inflation control. So even the output gaps, which are huge now, are far underestimate what the actual output gap is if they didn't have that artificial constraint of 5% unemployment for what they call the Nehru. And now they're talking about moving that up to 6 and 7 and 8%. So, where Europe's been at 9 for how long? Forever, right? 10, yeah. Yeah.